There it is. There's the home for my Bamboo X1. I'm gonna work on that this week for the channel. Stay tuned, it's about time I 3D printed something. Then check this out, I've got a new camera backpack because I wore the zippers out on the old one after like 7 years, and I made sure the new one had Velcro for the important patches. Actually, this is today's important patch. And that is because the Element Enduro Sendero HD Black has hit the workshop. And I'm actually pretty excited about it because I've never had one of the HD versions before, or one of their scratch and weather bodies, and this Ready to Run has it all. So this is the Sendero cab that we've seen before, and it's got the clear windows, and it's got some chrome elements to it like the mirrors and wipers and the front grille, even LED lights from the factory in those headlights. But this body has a special paint treatment where the underside is painted a rusted red and the outside is a matte black. And it's actually paint on the outside, so when you go and scratch up against rocks while you're driving, it will actually start to pull away at the paint and reveal the red underneath. Or you could go and weather it yourself by scratching it with some sandpaper or some tools and give it the weathered look on your own, which is a really cool way to customize your body. But this is the part I really like about the Sendero HD is the utility bed here with the cage work, and then it's got the flat panel, even with rivets and a fuel cap. I just really like the simple look of the bed. The truck has rock sliders on the side that the body keys into so it doesn't move around, and I like the compact bumper up front with the stinger shackles and the fair lead opening. This is a plastic piece that can get swapped out. The tires on the truck probably look familiar. They're the general grabbers that we saw on the original Sendero, and they're wrapped around these titanium color Ocho wheels. These are a beadlock wheel. The chassis setup's gonna look familiar as well. We've seen a lot of variants of the Enduro chassis. It still has the steel frame rails, the short battery box up front, and they include a standard battery box as well, composite shock hoops, sealed radio box on the one side, adjustable body mounts, an extra opening so you could go and put a winch servo. For the suspension, they switched back to the aluminum shock bodies on this truck. I reviewed the SE version a little while back, and those had composite shock bodies, which are actually easy to swap out to aluminum, but this truck has it stock and they have bleeder caps. This truck also comes with the metal suspension links, which a lot of people like. The SE had the composite plastic links, and it's a 4-link setup in the rear with 3-link and a panhard bar up front, and then it's got the BTA steering and even a metal servo horn. Then here's a shock. This one has the Stealth X transmission bolted to it. They've been really hyping the XF transmission that puts the motor farther forward, but this version, in my opinion, actually works very well. They've got the overdrive setup from the factory, and they give you the optional gears so you can overdrive the front end even more if you want to. Telescoping drive shafts down to the front and rear axles. At least it's got the aluminum center sections in this one. And there's the classic Element RC axle set, universals up front, 45-degree steering angle, and this one is loaded up with ball bearings, and steel straight shafts in the rear axle housing. For the electronics, it's their standard issue XP130 radio system, 1523 metal geared steering servo, SC48X brush motor speed controller fitted with a T-plug, and then a 16-turn 5-slot brush motor. We've seen this gear in a lot of the Ready Runs, and it works fine for standard trail driving. Also in the box, you'll get this parts bag that has some extra servo horns and pivot balls, the larger battery tray, and it even looks like they give you some body mounts and an extra roll bar, which might go well on my SE. But that's another project. They also give you the instruction manuals and a decal sheet, and I think I'm gonna go apply these before we head out. There we go, looks a lot better with the stripe down the side. Now let's head out and let the rocks wreck this paint job. So guys, I took the HD up to RC Madness to run it on their outdoor course, thinking that this would be the perfect spot to really just scratch up the body, get a good performance feel for the truck. And so far it's performing really good, but I'm not getting that body scratched up like I wanted to. The black paint is really tough on this. Actually, I think it's about to fall off this ledge here. No, actually I saved it. All right, saved some scratches on the body of this round. You know, the Enduro chassis, they always just perform really well. And plenty of steering, lots of suspension travel. And those tires are not bad for out of the box. This looks like a tricky spot. Gotta swing the front end around this rock here without rolling it. And that front bumper's catching. Oh, got it. It's on a bad angle. So walk that front end over. Uh-oh. Got rear wheels in a hole. I'm gonna give it a little throttle, bump it up. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Just slowly creep this truck down the hill. And it's pretty decent. But you know what I'm seeing, guys? I'm seeing one of the power leads from the speed controller just dangling. Really wish they gave us that plate that secures those in this kit. Well, guys, it's still a great performing, ready to run out of the box. I mean, this one is just a different variation. If you like the body style, this is definitely a truck to consider. Let's head back to the studio because I got one more thing to show you. So my grand plan of letting the terrain give the truck its beaten, weathered, and wrecked look didn't really pan out. I just don't have the rocky terrain for this thing to slide across and just gouge that paint. So what I had to resort to was doing some of the work myself with some sandpaper, and it's super easy to do. You just find little patches and scuff it up and give it that weathered look that you want to. So you get to customize it. That is very cool. And once you do scratch it up, it looks pretty awesome for really just a little bit of work. Now the truck itself, I really like the Senderos. I always have. They're a great truck. They handle really well out of the box. They got some decent electronics to them for a ready to run and just a really enjoyable truck to drive. It handles really well, and that was kind of part of the problem. I wasn't rolling this over so much because the suspension works on this. There's tons of steering with all the steering angle that the axle's set up with. Good throttle control, and if you do want to take this thing to the next level, there are tons of parts out there for lots of electronics too that you can go and really fine tune this thing. But for an out-of-the-box rig, you're going to enjoy it. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you guys was the box that it comes in. It converts into a garage so you could go and store the truck in it. You can take photos of it as you progress with your builds, share it online and everything. But each one of Element's trucks has this garage set up, and they're unique to each truck. And this one is a cool looking garage as well. I'll have links for this in the video description below. Hit the like and subscribe button while you're there.